right, friends, this is where we left off. This is the last slide we left off on, and we were discussing what to do when a student is talking to you or reporting to you when they're in crisis. And so just to kind of reiterate, I don't want to just skip over this slide too much, but what you need to do, because a lot of times we freak out in those situations, is make sure that you listen and let them tell you what they need to say. If they start to tell you something and you kind of know where it's going, you can ask to talk in private, but certainly don't stop them and say, wait, I think you need to tell this to the counselor, or, tell this to somebody else. Let them finish telling you, because you have that relationship with them. And I may not at this time, or, Miss Mars may not have it at the time, or Miss Hall may not have it, or the nurse may not have it. You have that relationship, and when they get stopped and they have time to think about it, they might say, you know what, I don't think I'm going to report this after all. So listen to what they have to say, write it down if you need to, and then next step would be just to reassure them. Try not to react or overreact, and never make promises. Never say everything's going to be okay, because honestly, you don't know that. You just speak facts and tell them what you are going to do. We're going to, talk to someone who can give us a little more help, that kind of thing, but just don't make promises. And then, of course, you seek assistance from the counselor, LSSP, nurse, administrators, somebody of that nature, and we will kind of help guide you from there. All right, this is our Alvin ISD reporting protocol. All individuals are required to report suspected abuse or neglect. If you suspect it, or if it has been reported to you, you are responsible for reporting it. Teachers, nurses are required to report suspected abuse within 48 hours. Please, if it's like a dire situation that is happening right now, and you're worried about that student, and when they go home, don't wait 48 hours. You can make the report definitely by phone. I'm not for sure if they still have the online platform open, but you can certainly look. But I know there for a while they were having us make those reports over the phone. Again, high-risk reports should be called in, so immediate action can be taken. If you're worried or concerned, call CPS. It's better to be overprotective and overly cautious than not at all. But what you have should be based upon facts. It shouldn't be based upon talking to other people about what they think. It should be based upon what your general inclination is. So number one, call CPS. You have the right and responsibility. You may not delegate this. If the kiddo tells you something, or if you come to me and say, hey, I think this kiddo is experiencing abuse at home, the buck doesn't stop there. You have to be the one to report that. If I do my own, inquiry and talk with the kid and feel that way, then I will also make a report, but you must report. So I'll say this about confidentiality. Your report is confidential and immune from criminal liability as long as the report is made in good faith and without malice. So as long as you are not doing it to be mean, or doing it purposefully to cause something negative to happen to someone because you're upset, as long as it's without malice, you are covered. I will say about confidentiality, though, a lot of times you need to just know that when abuse is reported, the parents know where it comes from, typically, because it can only come from a couple of places. It comes from the school, it comes from the daycare, something like that. So you will be protected, and we'll talk about anonymity in a minute. But you just need to know that there's a good chance that the parent may know that it was you, but at the same time, you have to just be, comforted in the fact that you are doing the right thing. And so, number 3, if a student discloses being a victim of human trafficking, or has information related to another student being involved in human trafficking or other abuse or suicidal making other abuse or suicidal comments, please contact a counselor or an administrator right away. And every situation is different. Sometimes we make a report because it's something that has happened in the past. Sometimes if the kiddos are telling us that they are afraid right now, we may have to talk with local law enforcement about next steps. So there's a variety of ways that we can handle these things, but we just need you guys to make sure that you know what your part is and to do your part. Here we go about confidentiality, and there is the texasabusehotline.org and the 1-800 number for you to call. You can also Google those very easily for Department of Family Protective Services, but you should not be discussing your report with anyone. You know, it's none of your fellow teachers' business about what's going on. You are not required to, again, disclose the report or knowledge of the report to a parent or a caregiver. There's a good chance they're going to pretty much narrow it down where it came from in a lot of cases, but you are not required. If they ask you, you are not required to tell them that you did that you went ahead and made a report. It is not required that you first report a suspicion to a peer, a colleague, or a supervisor. So again, you do not have to come talk to me or Miss Hall or Miss Mars or Miss Dede whenever you're ready to make a report. You can make a report. We just ask that you let us know in case DFPS shows up or someone else shows up that we need to meet with or allow to speak with the student. DFPS may not reveal your identity to the parents or perpetrators without your consent, and CPS or law enforcement may visit the campus during an investigation. There is about, a 95% chance that they will. So just keep those things in mind. Consultation is always key. This is in any profession. We always talk with people. We always try to, seek advice from people who've been through it before or who know more about it. So this is no different. The counselor is here to help guide you. Please inform one of us if, again, this is important, inform one of us if you have made a report, not because we need to know what you're doing, but because we a lot of times get contacted by DFPS or by a CPS caseworker, or they just show up and we kind of just want to have a heads up about what's going on. Consultation is okay, but it's not sufficient. Again, you must make the report. Once you tell it to me, it doesn't mean you get to forget about it. I cannot make a report on your behalf. You are the one who has to make the report. If I talk to the student and have reason to make the report, then I will make one as well.